Okay, this is the Great Mosque of Cordoba. I realize that it just says Great Mosque here, but you need to understand that there are at least three great mosques that we look at. So we need to identify the place. So I need you to identify this as the Great Mosque of Cordoba. And that will be fine. If you just put down Great Mosque, we're going to have a problem because there are three in our curriculum. So this is a creation of the Umayyad dynasty in Spain. Their history is going to be important to know because it will also play into the Pyxis of Almagira, which will be our next work. Stonemasonry, that's easy to remember. All right. So the Umayyad dynasty ruled the Islamic world from about 661 to 750 CE. They actually have a different dating system, but we're going to use the dating system that is used in AP history. So 661 to 750 AD, and it spread rapidly and widely throughout the world, including across North Africa and up into the Iberian Peninsula. The Iberian Peninsula refers to Spain and Portugal. However, in 750 CE, there was a coup that overthrew the Umayyads in Palestine, where their capital was, their capital of Damascus. The lone surviving prince went to Spain and declared himself the emir. That means the regional Islamic ruler there, the emir of Al-Andalus, and that's A-L apostrophe A-N-D-A-L-U-S. Now, the Muslims had already conquered the Visigothic, that's Visigothic, the Visigothic Christian kings of that area. So when this one surviving Umayyad prince, now declaring himself emir, commissions the mosque for his capital in Cordoba, what they end up doing is they end up building it on a site that once had, so the site actually has an interesting history. Originally, this site was the home to a Roman temple. Then it had been, the site had been changed, and on it was a Visigothic Christian church. After that, though, once the emir of Al-Andalus decided that the mosque should go there, that Christian church was taken apart, but certain parts of it were saved and used in this mosque. Of course, that would be called spolia, right? And so the mosque went here. So columns from the church were used in the mosque, and we'll see those in just a second. They're quite interesting. This mosque was enlarged 3 times over the next 200 years. So it's the first 2 times they moved the Qibla. They kept moving it out so they could expand out in that direction. And the third time they expanded it, the entire length of the building was pushed outward as well. So you want to think about what the message is of putting the new leader's spiritual space on top of, in the same spot of where the old ruler's spiritual space was. That's clearly an assertion of authority and power, right? So you want to think about why sacred spaces are chosen for where they are. Why would somebody put a sacred space here as opposed to someplace else? So this one was obviously planned very deliberately. When Cordoba ends up being captured by Ferdinand III in 1263, so that's a huge jump in time, but in 1263, Ferdinand III, who's obviously a Christian king, the mosque began to be used as a Christian church. The minarets were changed into bell towers. And in the 1500s, some dum-dums put a Gothic church right in the middle of it. So you can see this part. So they decided, well, let's put a Gothic style church inside on top of the mosque because it was no longer being used as a mosque at that point. And that was obviously a big mistake. King Charles, King Charles, who had supported its construction, recognized the mistake. He said that, quote, they have taken something unique in all the world and destroyed it to build something you can find in any city still used for Christian worship today. Because, yeah, there are Gothic cathedrals all over this area of Europe. You don't see that many large mosques like this anymore. And you might be wondering, what's the big deal? I don't see anything special here because we haven't looked at the inside, which we need to do next, which we will do next. Stay tuned for part 2.